Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining today's IC Realtime webinar. In today's webinar, we will be discussing IC Realtime's Max Line versus Flex Line. Now, this is a series of webinars that explains the differences between our series of lines. That's going to include the Edge line, the Max and the Flex line that we're going to be talking about here, and then the Elite line as well. I have muted everyone's microphone at the moment, but I will unmute everyone's microphone at the end of the webinar to field any questions anyone might have. My name is Mike Caballero. I'm one of the national sales executives here at IC Realtime, and let's get started. So like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about the differences between the Max line and the Flex line. And this really has taught us really what works for specific entries that we're going to talk about here, different feature sets that are available, different use cases, where to use these cameras and recorders in terms of installs, whether it's commercial installs or residential installs. That's what we're going to take a look at here today. So like I mentioned here, we have the 4 different lines here. IC Realtime cameras and recorders have different features and capabilities engineered and designed for different priorities. Capability to mix and match because these camera lines, they do all work together. Dash home and Wi-Fi cameras are fully compatible with all of our lines as well. So what's the Max line? The Max line is a series video gear. Is visible proof that excellent quality video can be also cost effective. So these are going to come in at a bit of a cheaper price point than those Flex line cameras. These cameras and recorders are full bore IC Realtime video quality, but have been engineered to win competitive bids for jobs that don't require cutting edge intelligent features, just great video security. So what can you expect out of these lines? Both the Max and Flex lines have many of the same great features. Here's what sets the Max apart. So wide-angled fixed lens cameras, mid-size 1U recorders, full color night vision on certain SKUs, our wedge dome models, as well as small size bullet models. So these are going to be your small size cameras with a fixed lens. So these are going to be your things like your IPMX E40 or E20F, your B40 or B20F, as well as your D40 or D20F. So your domes, eyeball domes, and bullets in that fixed lens. As well as our wedge dome cameras, which are very popular when it comes to using them for residential installs due to the smaller form factor. So where does the Max fit in terms of installations? Well, with excellent IP, as well as high definition or coax video resolutions and useful camera performance features, IC Realtime's Max series has popular and useful features while staying cost effective. So that, of course, that cost effectiveness comes in that fixed lens functionality, as it doesn't require all the motors that you utilize for our varifocal lens cameras. So home automation compatibility. So this is going to be compatible with the majority of home automation systems, residential and commercial installers, club and restaurant outfitters, especially when you're indoors and you don't need that varifocal functionality, school systems, as well as law enforcement, retail loss management departments, industrial and commercial IT departments, as well as government and agency security facilities. So Max Line and FlexSmartAi. FlexSmartAi is going to be our suite of analytics that you can utilize with any of these cameras. So things like intelligent motion detection alerts. So if you've ever sat in on my new technology webinar, you know that intelligent motion detection allows you to search just clip-based videos based on the capture of people and vehicles and the ability to rule out about 90% of false positives and only give you the ability to receive alerts for people and vehicles, which is much better than your traditional motion detection. Like we discussed in that new technology webinar, intelligent motion detection encompasses the entire scene, where intelligent tripwire detection allows you to specify an area of interest that you want to receive. And then intelligent perimeter protection is giving you, again, an area of interest, but more at a more broad spectrum than your tripwire, which is just a single a single digital line on screen that any object crosses, more so people in vehicles, you're then going to receive those alerts. So what will you get out of your MaxLine capabilities? First, you're going to get wide angle fixed lenses. So that's going to give you from about a 98 degree field of view to about a 110 degree field of view. 2 megapixel, 4 megapixel, and on the HD LES line, 5 megapixel resolutions. Audio is supported on many of these cameras, especially our wedge dome cameras, our bullet cameras, and our eyeball turrets. Internal SD storage, alarm contacts, full night color models. So here you're going to generally find your Starlight cameras, your Starlight functionality, smart IR night vision. So those smart IRs adjust intensity based on how close an object is, your motion detection alerts, your tripwire detection alerts, and your perimeter protection like we just talked about. Many of these are TAA compliant, black and white finishes, and I'll be making a new webinar very soon because we're bringing back many of our black cameras at no additional cost. So we want to really reinvest in black cameras as we've grown with our AV divisions, where there is much more of a demand for that. Compatible with other lines, as well as being vandal resistant as well. So our Max recorders, these are our mid-size 1U recorders. You have simple menu navigation and the new user interface. If you sat on our new web interface webinar, you've seen that it's a fantastic new interface. It's I apologize. It is HTML5 compatible, so you can use whatever browser you want. Many of my older dealers here do remember when our recorders and cameras were limited to Internet Explorer for the web interface. Now you can use any browser that you choose, whether it's Firefox, whether it's Chrome, Edge, Safari. You can use whatever browser you want on our cameras, as well as our recorders. IP network and HDAVS coax units. These are NVRs with built-in PoE ports for 8 and 16 channels. Supports our FlexSmart features. So when it comes to the FlexSmart, which is of course our IMD, our perimeter protection, these recorders give the ability to configure those cameras through the recorder interface. You're going to find 2 internal SATA ports, hard drive bays, up to 16 terabytes. So that's going to be 8 terabytes per SATA port with that 10-year warranty. Here's a bit of some videos of an IPMX E40F IRW1 when fully illuminated. And then you're going to see with your IRs on. So you also have your night color technology here. Our MaxLine with night color technology allows you to utilize our new soft white light LED bulbs. Here, you're not going to have any kind of IRs. You're going to have Starlight, and then you're also going to have these soft white light bulbs. So this is going to illuminate the scene by itself, just using that soft white lights, which are adjustable in intensity. So these are great for a lot of commercial installs, residential installs where there are no limitations on spotlights from HOA. Do keep that in mind when it comes to soft white light technology. It is a spotlight, and if there's a limitation or restriction from an HOA, you may want to forgo these for something like a Starlight camera. Of course, with any of our lines, you're going to get free design layouts So this allows you to take advantage of IC Realtime's free design. You'll want to reach out to your sales rep. And when you do reach out to your sales rep, they can set you up with a design consultation with our solutions engineer. And then home automation with Savant, Control 4, Elan, Crestron, along with Josh AI as well. So now we're going to talk about the FlexLine. FlexLine is for businesses and institutions that face the same competing cost-benefit pressures in video security equipment as they do in every capital expense: quality, dependability versus cost. The FlexLine recorders and cameras deliver the best of both worlds. So what's the difference between a Flex and a Max? Again, have many of the same features, but now here you're going to find varifocal lenses. You're going to find up to 4K resolution cameras, rack mountable recorders, and then pan, tilt, and zoom options, along with pinhole camera options as well. So where does the Flex fit in? Again, home automation compatible, warehouse and industrial facilities, high-end residential communities, correctional facilities, grow houses and processing builders, law enforcement, cannabis and hemp operations, and multi-site convenience stores. This is still going to have the same Flex AI technology that you'll find in the Max line. So you're going to get your IMDb, you're going to get your intelligent tripwire detection, you're going to get your intelligent perimeter protection as well. So here are some of the Flex capabilities that you're going to find. So varifocal lenses, these are going to be power zoom, which means they are motorized varifocal lenses. Now, something to keep in mind here when it comes to varifocal lenses is varifocal is for the ability for you to adjust your focal length. However, it is not a continuous zoom capability here. These are not the same motors that you're going to find in a PTZ style camera that is meant for constant movement and zooming in and out. Varifocal lens cameras are meant to set it and forget it. Maybe make an adjustment later on if you choose to do so, but if you continuously zoom in and out using a varifocal lens camera, you are going to burn out those motors in pretty short order. So do keep that in mind. When it comes to varifocal lenses, it's allowing you to adjust your field of view, get that right coverage area that you need, and then leave that there. Here, you're going to find 2 megapixel, 4 megapixel, 5 megapixel on the HDAVS side, like I discussed before, but also some 8 megapixel 4K resolution as well. Here, you'll find audio supported, whether it's on the pigtail or an integrated microphone, internal SD storage, alarm contacts, vandal resistant, just like the Max line, Smart IR, again, your IMD, your tripwire, your perimeter protection, TA compliant, also in black and white finishes, which we'll be expanding as well, and then compatible with other lines. So here you'll find your Flex recorder. So you may wonder what's the difference between, because many of these same features look the same as the Max recorder. So what's the difference between the Max recorder and the Flex recorder? It's simply going to be chassis size. This is meant to be rack mountable, where the MX recorders would require a tray to be mounted in a rack tray. The Flex recorders are built specifically to be rack mountable. They are 1U, but they are sized to fit inside almost all racks. Still having that built-in PoE switch for your 8/16 channels, same dual internal SATA ports with your 8 terabytes of storage per SATA port, giving you 16 terabytes of storage, alarm inputs and outputs, support for FlexSmart, just like the Max, support for up to 4K cameras, just like the Max, and TA compliant, also just like the Max. So the only difference between these two recorders is going to be that chassis size. This is going to be a IPFX D80V. So of course, 8 megapixel dome here. So you can see great quality there from that 8 megapixel resolution. And then great quality when it comes to your IR capabilities. You'll also get the same layouts here. So again, doesn't matter what system you're using, you're going to get our free design layouts just like you would in the MX line. Same home automation as you would find with the MX line. The only line, and we'll talk about that when we do the Edge webinar, is that Edge line. So again, Edge line, simple dependability, MX, wide angle lenses, fixed lens, FX, varifocal with Smart AI, and then EL is really the best of the best here. So now what I'll do is I'll take any questions anyone might have. I do ask that if you have any questions, you go to the top of your Zoom meeting, you go to the Q&A tab, and you can drop your same question, you add questions in there. First question from Mark, is the warranty the same on Max and Flex? Yes, it is. It's our 10-year warranty. So you'll find that in the MX, the FX, and the EL line. The Edge line is going to give you a 7-year warranty. No problem, Mark. William, how soon will black versions be available? They'll be available sometime mid-November. We've got a lot of new SKUs coming in black, but do keep in mind, just like anything else, just like the AV industry, security industry as a whole, we may come across limitations when it comes to procurement, as many of you may know and realize. We are having tons of issues, and that's going to be amongst many industries with global procurement. As of this point, it's probably about 60 ships in the port of Los Angeles, just sitting for weeks now, waiting to offload cargo, and that is backed up around the world. So do keep in mind, timeframes may change as usual with everything that's going on in this day and age, but we are really pointing for a mid-November release of all the products that will be released, all the new products that will be released. And you're welcome, William. Okay, well, it looks like no one else has any questions at this time. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us on today's IC Realtime webinar. My name is Michael Cavallero. I'm one of the national sales executives here at IC Realtime. Have a fantastic weekend and stay safe.